विभवरि शेषा आलोक प्रादेशा निद्राचारी उठो जीवा बोलो हरि हरि मुकुंद मुरारी राम कृष्ण हयग्रीवा बोलो हरि हरि मुकुंद मुरारी राम कृष्ण हयग्रीवा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे विभवरि शेषा आलोक प्रावेश निद्राचारी उठो जीवा बोलो हरि हरि मुकुंद मुरारी राम कृष्ण हयग्रीवा. The night has come to an end, and the light of the dawn is entering. O Jiva, soul, arise and give up your sleep. Chant the holy names of the Lord Hari, who is the giver of liberation, the enemy of the Mura demon, the supreme enjoyer, the all attractive one, and the horse-headed incarnation, Hayagriva. Lord Hari, incarnated as a half man, half lion, Simha. He appeared as a dwarf Brahmana named Upendra and is the killer of the Madhu demon. He is the beloved son of King of Raja, Nanda Maharaja, and is blackish in complexion. He is the slayer of the Putana witch and the destroyer of the demon Kaitava. All glories to Lord Hari, who appeared as Lord Ram, the son of King Dasharatha. He is the darling of Mother Yashoda, the giver of pleasure to the cows, land, and spiritual senses, and the protector of the cows. He is the lord of the Vrindavana forest, the gopis beloved, the lover of Radhika, and the most beautiful personality in all the worlds. As Ramachandra, he brought about the end of the demoniac king Ravana. As Krishna, he stole the older gopis' butter. He stole the younger gopis' clothes while they were bathing in the Yamuna. He is a cowherd boy of Raja and the protector of the cowherd boys. He steals the hearts of all and always holds a flute. Lord Krishna is worshipped by the best of the yogis and is the son of Nanda. He removes all the fears of the inhabitants of Raja. He is the color of a fresh rain cloud, and his form is enchanting. When he wanders about playing his flute, he looks very charming. He is the son of Yashoda and the killer of King Kamsa, and he sports in the Rasa dance among the crews of the Praja. Krishna engages in this Rasa dance underneath the Kadamba trees, and he resides in the forest of the Vrindavan. He increases the ecstasy of his devotees. He is the reservoir of all love and is transcendental Cupid who uses his flowered arrows to increase the loving desires of the gopis. He is the pleasure of the gopis' hearts and the abode of all wonderful qualities. Lord Krishna is the life of the river Yamuna. He is always absorbed in amorous pastimes, and he is the moon of the gopis' minds, which are like the chakora birds that subsist only upon moonlight. O mind, obey these words of mine and sing the glories of Sri Krishna in the form of these holy names, which are full of nectarian flows. Hare Krishna. Bhajahu re mana Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindari. Bhajahu re mana Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindari. Durlabama दुर्लभमानव जनम सत्संगे तरुवे भव सिंधुरे भजहु रे मन श्रीनंदनंदन अभय चरणारविंदरे दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संगे तरुये भव सिंधुरे सीतातप बत भरीसना सीतातप बत भरीसना ये दिन जाभिनी जागिरी ये दिन जाभिनी जागिरी विफले से विणु कृपाण दुरजन चपल सुबल गलागिरे विफले से विणु कृपाण दुरजन चपल सुबल गलागिरे भजहु रे मन श्रीनंदनंदन अभय चरणारविंदरे भजहु रे मन श्रीनंदनंदन अभय चरणारविंदरे एदन यौवन पुत्र परिजन एदन यौवन पुत्र परिजन इते कियाचे परतीतिरे इते कियाचे परतीतिरे कामल दळ जल जीवन तळमल कमल दळ जल जीवन तळमल भजहु हरि पद धीरे भजहु हरि पद धीरे भजहु रे मन श्रीनंदनंदन अभय चरणारविंदरे भजहु रे मन श्रीनंदनंदन अभय चरणारविंदरे श्रवण कीर्तन स्मरण वंदन श्रवण कीर्तन स्मरण वंदन पाद सेवन दाशरे पाद सेवन दाशरे पूजन सखी जन आत्मनिवेदन पूजन सखी जन आत्मनिवेदन गोविंद दास विलासरे गोविंद दास विलासरे भजहु रे मन श्रीनंदनंदन अभय चरणारविंदरे दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संगे तरुये भव सिंधुरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे भजहु रे मन श्रीनंदनंदन अभय चरणारविंदरे भजहु रे मन श्रीनंदनंदन अभय चरणारविंदरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे श्री राम धर्म की जय। श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र की जय। श्री राधा नवनीत चोर की जय। श्री राधा नटवर लाल की जय। श्री राधा गोपी जनवल्लभ की जय। श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर की जय। श्री राधा गोविंद की जय। श्री राधा लंडनेश्वर की जय। श्री राधा पंडरी नाथ की जय। राधा मदन मोहन की जय जय जय। Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for the opportunity to serve the God. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Raksha Mataji wants to do the Raksha Mataji wanted to Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Yes, Mangalacharan.
Mangalachar.
May I do, Mataji?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, please.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितनं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय हो। मंगलाचरण चैतन्य चरितामृत। वंदे गुरुनीश भक्तानीश मीशावतारकान् तत्प्रकाशच्च तच्छक्ति कृष्ण चैतन्य संज्ञकम्। वंदे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य नित्यानंदो सहोदितो गौड़दये पुष्पवंतो चित्रो छंदो तमोनुदो य अद्वैतं ब्रह्मोपनिषदि तदप्यस्य तनुभा य आत्मान्तर्यामि पुरुष इति षोडशांश विभवः षडैश्वर्यपूर्णय इह भगवान् स स्वयमयं न चैतन्यात् कृष्ण जगति परतत्त्वपरमिह अनर्पितं चरिं चिरात् करुणयावतीर्ण कलो समर्पित उन्नतो ज्वलरसां स्वभक्ति श्रियं हरिपूरट सुंदर धृति कदम्ब संदीपितः सदा हृदय कंदरे स्फुरतु वशचिनन्दनः राधा कृष्ण प्रणय विकृति लादिनी शक्तिरस्मात् एकात्मानवपि भुवि पुरा देह भेदं गतोतो चैतन आख्यं प्रकट मधुना तदैक्यं चैक्यमाप्तं राधा भावधृति सुविलितं नौमि कृष्ण स्वरूपम् श्री राधाय प्रणय महिमा क्विदशो वा नये वा स्वाद्यो येन अद्भुत मधुरिमा क्विदशो वा मदीयः सौख्यं चास्य मधुनुभवतः क्विदशं वेत्ति लोभा तद्भावाड्या समजनी शचि गर्भ सिंधु हरिंदु संकर्षण कारण तोषाई गर्भदोषाई च पयोब्धिशाई शेष्य यस्यां शकलां स नित्यानंद आख्या राम शरणं ममास्तु मायातीते व्यापी वैकुंठ लोके पूर्ण ऐश्वर्य श्री चतुर्विहु मध्ये रूपम यस्य भाति संकर्षण आख्यां तं श्री नित्यानंद रामं प्रपद्ये माया भर्ता जान संघाश्रयांग शेते साक्षात कारण बोधि मध्ये यश्येकां श्री पुमनदी देवस्तं श्री नित्यानंद रामं प्रपद्ये यशां शां शिलगर्भोदशायि यन्नाभजं लोकसङ्घातनालं लोकसुष्ठुसुतिगाधाम धातुस्तं श्री नित्यानंद रामं प्रपद्ये यशां शां शां परमात्माखिलानां पोष्टा विष्णु भारती दुग्धाब्धिशायि श्रोणी भर्ता यत्कलासु अप्यन्तस्तं श्री नित्यानंद रामं प्रपद्ये महाविष्णु जगत्कर्ता मायया सृजत्यद्यः तस्यावतार एवामा अद्वैताचार्य ईश्वरः अद्वैतं हरिणा अद्वैताचार्य भक्ति संसनात् भक्तावतारमीशं तम् अद्वैताचार्यमाश्रये पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं जयतां सुरतो पंगोर्मम मन्दमतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्भोजो श्रीराधा मदन मोहनो दिव्य वृंदारण्य कल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमत् रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थो श्रीमत् राधा शिल गोविंद देवो प्रेष्ठालिभि सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमान राससारंभी वंशीवट ततसितः कर्षण वेणुस्वनिर्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीयेसु नमः जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। पंच तत्व की जय हो। षड गोस्वामी की जय हो। हरे कृष्ण माता जी। थैंक यू सो मच। Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Wonderful Mangalacharana. I thank Satyadevta Prabhuji and Raksha Mataji for such beautiful kickstart for today's class. Let us go ahead with our Bhakta Maal series. Today I am doing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's part 3. We have done part 1 and part 2. I'll just a quick revision. On part 1, we saw the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we saw his Balya Leelas and his miracles. And in part 2, we saw his scholarly adolescence, his sannyas order, his initiation, and his desire for starting the Nam Sankirtana movement. But before that, let us let us do the invocation prayers. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakhya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadameyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Savadaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vidamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंश कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे. Let us now offer prayers to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतिशे नमः. O most magnificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani and you are wisely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangapangashta Parshadam Yagnai Sankirtana Praye Yajanti Sumedasa. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Let us offer our prayers to the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunau Shadadharma Samsthapakau Lokanam Hitkarinau Tribhuvane Manyau Sharanyakaru Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Anande Matallalikau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau. I offer my respectful obeisances to the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all living beings. Thus, they are honored all over the 3 worlds and are worth taking shelter because they are observed in the mood of the gopis and they are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Shri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय श्री प्रभुपाद गोविंद पुरुषम तमहं So after the part 2 of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rajiv Prabhuji did a very beautiful class on Nityanand Prabhuji, which further enhances the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So let us now continue with our last series on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is part 3. Hare Krishna, I got disconnected. So now while we saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had come down to Jagannath Puri, while residing in Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again resolved to visit Vrindavan, but fearing unbearable separation, the local devotees discouraged him. Mahaprabhu made a plan to visit Vrindavan and he told it to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Ramananda Rai. After receiving their permission, Mahaprabhu departed in great anticipation towards Krishna's holy village Vrindavan. Fearing the pain of separation, the devotees of Puri were willing to abandon all the responsibilities and they to travel with him. But Mahaprabhu did not allow them to do so. As he went ahead, Mahaprabhu attracted thousands of followers and changed the hearts of even the Muslim villagers. He arrived at Ramakeli. He met the great devotee Rupa and Sanatana, who were working for the Muslim occupational government in Bengal. Overjoyed, they surrendered to Mahaprabhu and they begged him to avoid visiting Vrindavana in such crowds due to criticisms and dangerous attention that he would attract. Mahaprabhu agreed reluctantly and he went back towards Jagannath Puri, traveling via Shantipur to advise Raghunath Das Goswami in the matter of renunciation. Upon arrival at Puri, Mahaprabhu made a firm resolve to visit Vrindavan again. Yes. This time nothing would stop Mahaprabhu. His desire was becoming stronger and stronger, and the failed attempts only fueled his anticipation to an overwhelming extent. Although Mahaprabhu planned to travel alone, Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami uh, uh, strongly insisted that the two devotees accompany him. Balabhadra Bhattacharya would collect alms and cook meals, while an assistant Brahmana would carry Mahaprabhu's clothes and water pot. This would allow Mahaprabhu to freely chant and dance on his way to Vrindavan. Having settled the practicalities, Mahaprabhu requested permission from his worshipable Lord Jagannatha and slipped away in the dead of the night to fulfill his long cherished desire. He travelled via Jharikhand forest, chanting and dancing in unbounded happiness. His ecstasy transformed the fierce tigers, the powerful elephants, and the timid deers, who all harmoniously chanted Krishna Krishna. The forest reminded Mahaprabhu of Vrindavan, the transcendental abode where everyone lives together in spiritual harmony. He carried the spirit of Vrindavan with him and bestowed that holy influence upon the places and people he visited. Traveling via Prayag, Mahaprabhu approached the sacred land of Mathura. Upon arrival, he fell to the ground and offered obeisances in ecstatic love. In This incarnation, it would be his first and last visit to Vrindavan. The appreciation he felt was undescribable. Mahaprabhu met Sanodia Brahman, a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. He immediately felt a deep connection with him. They continued the pilgrimage together, feeling increasing anticipation and excitement as they approached the sacred forest of Vrindavan. When they eventually arrived, Mahaprabhu became immersed in an ocean of transcendental feeling as he recounted the divine pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna 5,000 years ago. He had finally arrived home. So, one major event during Mahaprabhu's parikrama was the discovery of Radha Kunda. Arriving at Arishtragram, the omniscient Mahaprabhu identified it as the area where Arishtrasura had been killed and where Radha and Krishna later formed sacred ponds of liquid love. Seeing two bodies of water in two paddy fields, Mahaprabhu ascertained that formerly they were called Radhakunda and Shamakunda. In these waters, Sri Krishna and Srimati Radharani enacted the pastimes of love, and anyone who bathes there inevitably awakens their own pure love for God. Mahaprabhu continued on and visited Kusum Sarovar, Govardhana village, Brahma Kunda, and Harideva temple. Mahaprabhu had a strong desire to see the deity of Gopal, but out of respect and reverence, he refused to walk on top of the Govardhan hill. Thus, on the pretext of Muslim invasion, the deity Gopal arranged to come down from the hill for a few days to facilitate Mahaprabhu's desire. Such are the intimate and personal interactions of the Lord. Indeed, Gopal granted a similar audience to Rupa Goswami and other Vaishnavas. The tour of Vraja took Mahaprabhu to Kamyavan, Khadiravan, Bhandiravan, Bhadravana, Bilvavan, Lokavana, and Mahavan. Mahaprabhu completed his parikrama by returning to Mathura. He daily went to the sacred places along the Yamuna river, including Keshi Ghat, Imli Tala, Dwashadatya Hill, Kalia Radha. Here, a Rajput Kshatriya named Krishna Dasa, who was an advanced Vaishnava, also joined Mahaprabhu. One day, a crowd of people approached Mahaprabhu, claiming that they had witnessed Krishna dancing on the Kaliya serpent at night. It had become a sensation in the town, and even Balabhadra, the Lord's servant, decided to go there and witness the event. Mahaprabhu rebuked him and cautioned the devotees to avoid being misled by speculation and hearsay. The rumor did, in fact, turn out to be a misunderstanding, and Mahaprabhu instead taught them that sincere devotional service was the real way to perceive Lord Krishna's eternal pastimes. As Lord's ecstasy and absorption increased, the crowds also swelled, and Mahaprabhu's followers felt it was time to leave Vrindavan. After expressing gratitude and appreciation for their assistance in bringing him to Vrindavan, Mahaprabhu led them on a homeward journey. While passing through Gokula, a cowherd boy played his flute, causing Mahaprabhu to enter in a fit of ecstasy and fall on the ground unconscious. When a group of Muslim then a group of Muslim soldiers suddenly arrived, and they summarized that Lord's associates were robbers who had attacked the sannyasi. Fortunately, Mahaprabhu eventually regained full consciousness and clarified the entire situation. After a fruitful dialogue with them, in which Mahaprabhu used the Quran to establish the culture of devotion, they all converted to Vaishnavism and began to known they became to known as Pathan Vaishnavas. Now we will see Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami's escape. After their initial meeting with Mahaprabhu, Rupa and Sanatana began planning their escape from Ramakeli in order to fully dedicate themselves to the Sankirtana movement. Rupa Goswami made the first move, dividing his accumulated wealth between his relatives and the saintly persons, carefully keeping aside an emergency fund for the future. Freeing himself from all the social ties, Rupa Goswami joyfully went out to meet Mahaprabhu. Traveling with his younger brother Vallabha, they eventually met Mahaprabhu in Prayag. Feeling deep gratitude and appreciation, they humbly prostrated themselves before Mahaprabhu and offered heartfelt prayers of glorification. For the next 10 days, Mahaprabhu instructed Rupa Goswami at Dashatwamedha Ghata, freely revealing the most profound spiritual insights to him. The relationship with Krishna. Mahaprabhu discusses the 5 primary relationships with Krishna, offers examples and outlines the unique nature of Raja Bhakti, the loving devotion of the Vrindavan resident, which is free from awe and reverence. Although Rupa Goswami desired to stay longer, he was instructed by Mahaprabhu to leave for Vrindavana so he could begin laying foundations for the Sankirtana movement. Meanwhile, Mahaprabhu travelled onwards to Varanasi to meet Sanatan Goswami. Here, Sanatan Goswami, however, could not escape as easily. Losing all interest in governmental affairs, he faked sickness and stayed at home to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam with Brahmana scholars. One day, when the Nawab unexpectedly appeared, he was shocked and infuriated by the scene, questioning him about his intentions. Sanatan Goswami made it very clear to him that he wanted to leave, and the Nawab ruthlessly arrested him and imprisoned him. When Rupa Goswami heard about his brother's plight, and he secretly informed him about the emergency fund that he had kept and suggested him a plan to bribe the jailer. Sanatan Goswami did exactly that. Using his expert diplomatic skills, he gained release from the prison and began a, a very hard journey towards Varanasi. In a disheveled state, he arrived at Chandrasekhar's home and humbly submitted himself in front of Mahaprabhu, much to Mahaprabhu's delight. For the next 2 months, Mahaprabhu personally instructed Sanatan Goswami in the science of devotion. During this period, Vallabha Bhatta and Raghunath Pati Upadhyay also came to meet Mahaprabhu. Essential instructions to the Goswamis. After instructing Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, Mahaprabhu sent them both to Vrindavan, although he would later instruct them again in Jagannath Puri. Their service was to lay secure foundations for the Sankirtana movement. Rupa Goswami is specifically glorified in this regard. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. When will Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Mahaprabhu, give me shelter under his lotus feet? The Goswamis were given specific instructions to achieve this task. 1. Holy places. To rediscover and excavate the sacred locations of Lord Krishna's pastimes, and to establish Vrindavana as a holy town where pilgrims could meet saintly people and draw spiritual inspiration. 2. Deity worship and temples. To establish temples, install deities, and document appropriate standard of daily worship. 3. Literature. To write genuine, officially accepted sacred literature which outlines essential Vedic conclusions and promotes the supremacy of pure spontaneous bhakti free from external formality and ritual. 4. Vaishnava culture. To elucidate and exemplify Vaishnava character, culture, and etiquette, and to demonstrate the proper behavior and standards of renunciants. By the time they left this world, the 6 Goswamis had fulfilled all the instructions given to them. They had restored the holy places, erected highly decorated temples which attracted people from all over India. They wrote over 200 different scriptural works and established the standards of culture through through their shining personal example. When Srila Prabhupada came to the Western world and founded ISKCON, he followed the same guidelines to structure his missionary movement, the Hare Krishna movement. Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra were disturbed by the constant criticism directed towards Mahaprabhu from the impersonal camp. Thus, when a Brahmana invited Mahaprabhu to a gathering of sannyasis, Lord utilized this opportunity to rectify the situation. Upon entering the Brahmana's house, Mahaprabhu humbly sat on the ground, right by the feet of the saffron stalwarts. Seeing his remarkable effulgence and heartwarming humility, they immediately stood up and encouraged the young sannyasi to sit with them. Mahaprabhu declined, submitting that they were more exalted than him and thus deserved the respect. A conversation ensued in which they quizzed Mahaprabhu about his absorption in chanting and dancing, which they considered uncharacteristic of a sannyasi. The duty of a renunciant, they strongly believed, soberly was to be soberly absorbed in the study of Vedanta philosophy. Mahaprabhu explained that he was simply following the instructions of his spiritual master, who had unequivocally established that chanting the holy names of Krishna was the only means for spiritual perfection in this age. No other process would be as effective. The sannyasis accepted Mahaprabhu's arguments but questioned why he never studied the intricacies of philosophy. Mahaprabhu then began to explain the authentic tenet of Vedanta Sutra. He emphasized the personal nature of God, explaining how Shankaracharya had given misleading interpretations which covered the real purport of the text. Mahaprabhu then offered devotional illuminations explaining that the ultimate goal of life is prema, that is pure love for Krishna. Greatly impressed by his explanations, the Mayavadi sannyasis realized they had misjudged Mahaprabhu and thus they became repentant. Mahaprabhu excused all of them and encouraged them to begin chanting the holy name of Krishna. The entire city of Varanasi began to praise Mahaprabhu, and hordes of people followed his every move. The Mayavadi sannyasis were extolling his glories, encouraging everyone to give up the impersonal interpretations of Shankaracharya and instead take to the path of devotional service. Humility and empowerment. When Mahaprabhu reached Jagannath Puri, the Bengali Vaishnavas immediately journeyed there to see him. The party was headed by Shivananda Sena, who compassionately brought along a stray dog on the journey. Rupa Goswami also travelled to Puri, but was delayed due to his brother's death. Upon arrival, the Goswami stayed with Haridas Thakur and readying himself for his second meeting with Mahaprabhu, where he would receive instructions on the drama that he was writing about Lord Krishna's pastimes. Mahaprabhu eagerly visited Haridas Thakur on a daily basis. He became overjoyed to see Rupa Goswami when he arrived. The next day, Mahaprabhu introduced Rupa Goswami to all the Vaishnavas, imploring devotees like Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu to bestow choicest blessings upon the young renunciant. Regarding the dramas, Mahaprabhu instructed Rupa Goswami not to mix Krishna's Dwarka pastimes with the Vrindavan pastimes, and he thus decided to write two separate scripts. After witnessing Mahaprabhu's ecstatic outpouring at the annual Rath Yatra, Rupa Goswami composed a verse which captured Mahaprabhu's innermost feelings. When Mahaprabhu saw the verse, he became overwhelmed and lovingly slapped Rupa Goswami for his literary craftsmanship. Rupa had been especially empowered to capture and convey the esoteric truths hidden within Mahaprabhu's heart, and thus he became known as Rasacharya, the informed authority on divine melodies. Rupa Goswami scribed two separate dramas to narrate the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavana and Dwarika, naming them Vidagdha Madhava and Lalita Madhava respectively. One day, while writing Vidagdha Madhava, Mahaprabhu read one of the verses and became extremely happy. When he returned the next day with his associate, Rupa Goswami and Haridas Thakur lovingly received them and humbly sat at their feet. Mahaprabhu glorified the writing of Rupa Goswami and encouraged him to read his exquisite compositions. But the humble Goswami was very hesitant. As they repeatedly insisted, Rupa Goswami finally reluctantly agreed and began reciting selected verses, feeling himself to be an insignificant glowworm in comparison to the exalted and effulgent sun like Vaishnavas. Rupa Goswami thus remained with Mahaprabhu for 10 months. Fully equipped and empowered, he returned to Vrindavan to, uh, to head the Sankirtana movement. Let us now see the devotion of the devotees. Pure devotion has always attracted the Lord. Mahaprabhu always appeared in 4 places: in the household temple of Mother Shachi, in the places where Nityananda Prabhu danced, in the house of Srivas Pandita during congregational chanting, and in the house of Raghava Pandita. He appeared because of his attraction to the love of his devotees. That is his natural characteristic. Mahaprabhu transformed everyone he met by exhibiting this phenomenal devotion and simultaneously implanting it within them. One such example was of Nakula Brahmachari, with whose body Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually entered. Then we see Pradyumna Brahmachari, also known as Narsimananda Brahmachari, was another recipient of Mahaprabhu's mercy. In Bengal, the devotees were eagerly waiting for Mahaprabhu's arrival, since he had promised them to visit them that year. Seeing no signs of Mahaprabhu, the devotees became very anxious. Pradyumna Brahmachari then boldly declared that he would bring the Lord there within 3 days. He cooked a grand feast and lovingly prepared 3 plates, one for Lord Jagannath, another for Mahaprabhu, and the third for Lord Narsimhadev. Pradyumna Brahmachari then began intensely meditating in pure devotion, which made Mahaprabhu to come. The Lord's attention was attracted as he personally descended there to eat all 3 plates. Then pure chanting of Haridas Thakur. When Mahaprabhu earnestly inquired how the non-devotees would be delivered, Haridas Thakur assured him not to worry. He had implicit faith that the holy name would, would permeate the universe and transform everyone. Haridas Thakur was chanting in Benapole. The envious Ramchandra Khan schemed to defame him by sending him a prostitute. Although she tempted Haridas Thakur with sweet words and amorous poses, he remained undisturbed, promising to fulfill her desire after he had finished his prescribed quota of chanting. As she heard the transcendental sound vibration from the mouth of Haridas Thakur, she started to become clean of material desires and realized her mistake. Haridas Thakur formally initiated her into chanting the holy name, and she later became very well known for her deep devotion and surrender. Haridas Thakur then travelled to Chandapura, where he stayed at the house of Balram Acharya. Here he would extol the glories of holy name, explaining the unparalleled bliss that is generated from reciting the divine syllables Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He confidently posited that even a glimpse of sincere chanting is sufficient to qualify oneself for liberation, which is an insignificant side benefit of spiritual perfection. When Gopal Chakravarti heard these glorification, he abruptly spoke out and criticized Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by calling him an emotional devotee. Due to his faithless mentality and harsh words, he was later attacked by leprosy and he underwent acute suffering. Haridas Thakur then moved to Shantipur, where Advaita Acharya honored him as the most exalted Vaishnava. While chanting in his cave, Haridas Thakur was again tested by a provocative woman, but Haridas Thakur remained focused on his devotional practices. After 3 days of trying, she finally revealed herself as Maya Devi personified, who had specifically come down to test his spiritual resolve. When Haridas Thakur eventually moved to Jagannath Puri, Govinda would regularly deliver Mahaprabhu's prasadam remnants to him. Once Govinda witnessed Haridas Thakur's ailing health and he urged him to rest, but Haridas Thakur flatly refused. He was determined to finish his prescribed rounds of chanting. When Mahaprabhu learned this, he also requested him to relax his spiritual vows. But Haridas Thakur uh, humbly responded by claiming that his real disease was the lack of determination of chanting Lord's names. He then requested a special favor. Fearing separation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Haridas Thakur requested that he be allowed to leave the world in the presence of Mahaprabhu. The next day, Mahaprabhu came to see Haridas Thakur and began chanting the holy names. Fully absorbed in that transcendental vibration, with tears falling from his eyes, Haridas Thakur gazed intently at Mahaprabhu and peacefully he passed away. Mahaprabhu danced with the body of Haridas Thakur in his arms and he bathed in the sea. He smeared Jagannath's sandalwood paste on it and he entombed it, placed sand over it, and then erected a platform over that site. Mahaprabhu then circumambulated the tomb and personally went to beg alms for a festival in honor of Haridas Thakur's passing away. Mahaprabhu personally directed everything, deeply lamenting that the crest jewel of Vaishnava was no longer present. Remembrance of Krishna. Gopinath, Gopinath Patankaya, the brother of Ramananda Raya, was facing death penalty due to inappropriately managing government funds. Although everyone appealed to Mahaprabhu for help, but Mahaprabhu was unwilling because he was a sannyasi. Nevertheless, by the will of the Lord, Gopinath was in fact saved. Mahaprabhu received the message. He inquired about the activities of the brothers while Gopinath was on the verge of death. The messenger replied that they were all chanting the holy names and absorbed in the remembrance of Lord Krishna. Mahaprabhu was extremely pleased, and even the brothers concluded that it was this remembrance which actually saved them. They also understood that the ultimate fortune was to attain detachment from material world and pure devotion for the Lord, and that material protection was simply a side benefit. Mahaprabhu instructed them to conduct their worldly affairs with full integrity and never make such financial mistakes again. He thus reiterated the principles of Bhagavad Gita. Do your duty perfectly and simultaneously remember Lord Krishna at all times. Service attitude of Govinda. After meeting the devotees at Narendra Sarovar, Mahaprabhu engaged everyone in congregational chanting and began to dance in unbounded ecstasy. The kirtan continued for a long time, and seeing everyone gradually becoming fatigued, Mahaprabhu eventually stopped. He then took prasadam and lay down to rest in the doorway of Gambhira. Every day after Mahaprabhu had finished honoring prasadam, his servant Govinda would come to massage his legs and thereafter accept the Lord's remnants of his meal. On this day, however, he couldn't get into the room because Mahaprabhu was blocking the entrance. He repeatedly requested Mahaprabhu to move on one side, but Mahaprabhu refused. Govinda then reluctantly stepped over Mahaprabhu's body, an act which is considered a serious breach of etiquette. He proceeded to massage Lord's feet and patiently waited till Mahaprabhu awoke. When he did, Mahaprabhu questioned him why he did not take prasadam. Govinda replied that Mahaprabhu was blocking the way and that he could not pass by to reach the prasadam. Although Govinda stepped over Mahaprabhu's body for the purpose of service, he refused to step back over Mahaprabhu's body for his own for his own ends. Thus, the glories of Govinda's service attitude became known to everybody. Govinda continued to oversee the arrangements of Mahaprabhu's daily meals while while Mahaprabhu resided in Puri. Once Mahaprabhu heard someone beautifully singing Gita Govinda and was spontaneously drawn towards that voice. When he began running in that direction of the singer, Govinda quickly grabbed Mahaprabhu, explaining him that this was a lady who was singing. Mahaprabhu was deeply grateful for Govinda's ever alert service attitude, and he requested his god brother to always remain by his side for protection. Spontaneous love of Jagadananda Pandit. As with previous years, the devotees from Bengal came to see Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. Although it was a difficult journey, their intense love spontaneously drew them there. Infused with the same deep affection, Nityananda Prabhu and Advait Acharya also came to Jagannath Puri, even though Mahaprabhu had forbidden them to come uh, because they should not leave their places of preaching. With single-minded attraction, actually, uh, such single-minded attraction actually conquered the Lord's heart. When Jagannath Pandit inappropriately instructed Sanatan Goswami, Mahaprabhu became very angry and sent him away from Puri. Jagadananda Pandit returned the following year with a gift of scented oil. But as a strict sannyasi, Mahaprabhu refused to personally use it, instead instructing Govinda to utilize it in the worship of Lord Jagannatha. When Govinda again offered the oil on Jagannatha's plea, Jagdananda's request, Mahaprabhu became agitated, insisted that his sannyasa principle cannot be compromised. Out of transcendental anger, Jagdananda came before the Lord, smashed the pot of oil, and then angrily locked himself in his room. To lovingly pacify this angry Jagdananda Pandit, Mahaprabhu requested him to cook a grand feast. Jagdananda Pandit joyfully prepared and served the prasadam with great enthusiasm, and Mahaprabhu relished the varieties of preparations, eating 10 times more than normal. Considering it uh, not befitting for a sannyasi, Mahaprabhu refused to use a quilt and pillow that Jagdananda Pandit had made for him. Later, Mahaprabhu accepted a different pillow made by Swarup Damodar Das. Jagdananda Pandit became very upset and he requested permission to leave Puri and visit Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu thoroughly relished these loving interactions with Jagdananda Pandit, which were free from reverence and formality. He requested Jagdananda Pandit to stay. Later, however, he consented him and offered him instructions and advice that how he should conduct his pilgrimage. Jagdananda Pandit thus spent 2 months with Sanatan Goswami in Vrindavan, and then later he returned to Jagannath Puri with more gifts. Inappropriate association. Let us now see the inappropriate deeds of Mahaprabhu's disciples. One such was of Chota Haridas. When Chota Haridas, he was a renunciant who was living in Jagannath Puri, he was requested to obtain some rice for Mahaprabhu. He approached an elderly lady, Madhavi Devi, who was a highly respected devotee. Mahaprabhu appreciated him getting the rice, but immediately asked him where did this come from. When Mahaprabhu discovered that Chota Haridas had inappropriately obtained it from a lady, he became very angry and he banished him, considering this a deviation from the principles of sannyasa. Utterly distraught, Chota Haridas fasted for 3 days. Various devotees requested Mahaprabhu to reconsider his strong reaction, but Lord was not willing. He then advised him that that Lord told him that he had violated the proper conduct of a sannyasi, and this was the appropriate punishment for him. The devotees lovingly encouraged Chota Haridas, but he eventually committed suicide by drowning himself in Prayaga. Thereafter, unknown to all the devotees, Chota Haridas received a spiritual body and had the great fortune of associating and receiving the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. criticism and false finding. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu repeatedly gave audience to a young boy whose father had died, Damodar Pandit became increasingly annoyed. He criticized Mahaprabhu, fearing that the public may speak uh, disgracefully about him by associating with with the son of a young widowed mother. Mahaprabhu appreciated his simplicity and straightforwardness. He nevertheless ordered Damodara to leave Jagannath Puri and relocate to Navdvipa, where he could look after Sachimata. Damodar was a great devotee, but it was not his position to advise his spiritual master, who was Lord Krishna himself. Let us now see here about Ramachandra Puri. Ishwara Puri, who was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's spiritual master, and Ramachandra Puri were both disciples of Madhavendra Puri. While Ishwara Puri maintained a proper mood of service and submission, Ramachandra Puri began criticizing and instructing his spiritual master. This offensive mentality destroyed his character and triggered his spiritual downfall. Once seeing ants in the house of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ramachandra accused Mahaprabhu of eating too many sweets. Even though the criticisms were completely wrong, Mahaprabhu humbly reduced his eating by half and continued to offer Ramachandra all the respect. Amazingly, Ramachandra then criticized Mahaprabhu for being a dry renunciant who was being unnecessarily austere. On the desperate plea of the devotees, Mahaprabhu resumed his regular eating habits but demonstrated how a humble Vaishnava should be and that he can even utilize a fault finder's criticism to improve himself. Due to his countless offenses, Ramachandra Puri was forced to leave Jag- uh, Jagannath Puri, deprived of Mahaprabhu's priceless association forever. Now let us see the superficial discrimination of Pradyumna Mishra. When Pradyumna Mishra approached Mahaprabhu with the ardent desire to hear topics of Krishna, Mahaprabhu directed him to meet Ramananda Rai, who was extremely qualified in this regard. Pradyumna visited Ramananda Rai but discovered that the former governor was massaging the bodies of young girls and seemingly engaged in immodest activities. He was shocked and he was bewildered. Pradyumna quickly left the home and avoided any further conversation with Ramananda Rai. Seeing Pradyumna the following day, Mahaprabhu detected his bewilderment and thus he extolled the glories of Ramananda Rai. Ramananda Rai was personally directing the girls in the song and dance for the pleasure of Lord Jagannatha. Since he was transfixed in his eternal identity as a maid servant in the spiritual world, such intimate services could not bewilder or agitate Ramananda Rai. When Pradyumna later approached Ramananda Rai, with a different mindset, he and eagerly requested him to narrate the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Uh, an unprecedented flow of transcendental nectar came out from Ramananda Rai's mouth. On the superficial level, Pradyumna was a highly qualified Brahman, whereas Ramananda Rai was an ordinary Grahastha Shudra engaged in duties. Mahaprabhu, however, wanted to highlight the principle that advancement is based on internal realization rather than superficial indication. Now let us see how important it is to respect teachers. So one day, Vallabha Bhatta began glorifying Mahaprabhu for his magnanimity and his compassion in delivering so many conditioned souls. In response, Mahaprabhu began to glorify his associates, explaining the different things he had learned from each one of them. Mahaprabhu expertly did this to curb Vallabha Bhatt's pride, sensing that the scholarly teacher was proud of his knowledge. Vallabha met all those devotees, served them prasadam, and witnessed their ecstatic devotion at the Rath Yatra festival. Later, he requested Mahaprabhu to hear his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, but Mahaprabhu refused to hear. Vallabha then began to debate with devotees like Advaita Acharya and Swarup Damodar Das, and even began to question their incessant chanting of Lord's name. As always, Vallabha was soundly defeated in philosophical debate. When he returned the next day, claiming to have refuted the explanations of legendary scriptural commentator Sridhara Swami, Mahaprabhu called him a prostitute for his unfaithfulness towards the parampara. Vallabha realized his grave mistake and humbly surrendered to Mahaprabhu, eventually taking initiation from Gadadhar Pandit. This thing was yesterday also explained by Sharad Prabhuji, that if we do not accept the explanations of Sridhar Swami, then that person is called as a prostitute. Feelings of separation. For the final 12 years, Mahaprabhu's manifest pastimes, he remained secluded in Gambhira, the garden house of Kashi Mishra. Mahaprabhu emerged into a deep spiritual communion and obsessed day and night in thoughts of Krishna. This esoteric phenomena is described by Krishnadasa Kaviraj Goswami, that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt separation from Krishna, his condition exactly corresponded to that of the condition of gopis in Vrindavan after Krishna's departure from Mathura. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's emotions exactly corresponded to those of Srimati Radharani when she met Uddhava in Vrindavan. Here are some lessons about the eagerness on the path of devotional service. So, nestled in these ecstatic narrations are some instructive stories on the quality of eagerness and enthusiasm. This eagerness is the natural characteristic of an advanced Vaishnava, and the cultivation of such eagerness is the fuel which drives forward our spiritual journey. So, a woman from Orissa, when she entered the Jagannath temple, her intense desire to see the deity prompted her to climb onto the Garuda Stamba by placing her foot on Mahaprabhu's shoulder. Both acts were a serious breach of etiquette, and Govinda immediately went to correct her. But Mahaprabhu, however, stopped him and instead appreciated her great eagerness to see the Lord, praying that even Govinda should develop a similar enthusiasm. She finally came to her senses, she realized her mistake and quickly stepped down and started to beg forgiveness from Mahaprabhu for her unconventional behavior. Now, Kalidasa. Kalidasa was the uncle of Raghunath Das Goswami who visited Jagannath Puri along with the Bengali Vaishnavas. In addition to his non-stop chanting, he was renowned for his great eagerness to honor the prasadam remnants of the Vaishnavas. He would hide while the Vaishnavas ate the prasadam and then secretly relish the leftovers from their rejected plates. Once he ate the remnants of the saintly Jhadu Thakur, and later he received great mercy from Mahaprabhu for his enthusiastic disposition. He even managed to drink the water that had washed Mahaprabhu's feet, thus acquiring valuable spiritual blessings. Instances of ecstasy. Due to his feelings of separation, a variety of occurrences would trigger and induce Mahaprabhu's transcendental madness. This would agitate a variety of bodily transformation and ecstatic symptoms, which could only be pacified by the loud chanting of the holy name. After coming back to external consciousness, Mahaprabhu would again fall into a deep separation, recounting his transcendental experiences. At this time, he would request Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Das to soothe his consciousness by reciting appropriate verses from the scriptures and singing select songs. Krishna as Jagannatha. While taking darshan in the temple, Mahaprabhu perceived the deity of Jagannatha as a cowherd boy Krishna. While absorbed in that ecstatic meditation, the lady from Orissa stepped on him and he thus returned to external consciousness. Seeing the deity as Jagannath again, Mahaprabhu was plunged into anxiety and moroseness, thinking that he had left Vrindavan and was now in Kurukshetra. When various ecstatic bodily symptoms manifested, he began explaining how the yogi of his mind would become completely captured by Krishna. The Chataka Parvata, sand dune. When Mahaprabhu saw a sand dune, he mistook it for Govardhan Hill and he began running towards it in great anticipation, falling to the ground in ecstasy. Coming back to partial consciousness, Mahaprabhu explained how he was witnessing the beautiful scene of Govardhana, where Krishna regularly performs his playful pastimes. Thus, he began to lament that he was no longer in Vrindavan, no longer at Govardhana, the flower garden. While walking by the sea, Mahaprabhu came across a flower garden and immediately he visioned Vrindavan. He adopted the mood of gopis who were anxiously looking for Radha and Krishna after they had left the Rasa dance. Mahaprabhu wandered around the garden in ecstatic love, inquiring from the trees, creepers, flowers, animals about the whereabouts of Krishna. When Mahaprabhu finally found Krishna, he fell unconscious. The prasadam of Jagannath. After taking darshan and tasting the Mahaprasadam from Jagannath, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meditated on how the food had touched Lord Krishna's lips. This sent him into a fit of ecstasy. With the help of his associate, Mahaprabhu became immersed in the thoughts of Krishna's flute, which is eternally enjoying the nectar of Lord Krishna's lips. The sound of the flute. When Mahaprabhu was in the Gambhira, he heard the sound of Krishna's flute. Although the three doors were locked and Govinda was guarding the room, Mahaprabhu mystically managed to escape. Realizing what had happened, the devotees became frustrated, searching for him. They eventually found him lying unconscious in a cowshed, with all his limbs sunken into his body like a tortoise. After bringing Mahaprabhu back to consciousness, the devotees recited a series of verses glorifying the enchanting sound of Krishna's flute. His escaping from the Gambhira became a repeated event. Jumping in the sea. While reciting verses describing the Rasa Leela, Mahaprabhu reached the section glorifying Krishna's frolicking with the gopis on the Yamuna river. Absorbed in that mood, Mahaprabhu walked past the sea, remembered the Yamuna, and instinctively jumped in. He fell unconscious, floated downstream, and eventually disappeared out of sight. After a desperate search, the devotees encountered a delirious fisherman who had retrieved Mahaprabhu's body, thinking that it was a dead corpse. After handling the body, the fisherman manifested signs of madness, and he was concluded to be haunted. Swarup Damodar Das could understand that this was the transcendental effect of touching Mahaprabhu's body, and thus pacified the fisherman. The devotees went to Sri Mahaprabhu, whose body had become subject to mystical convulsions. After chanting loudly, Mahaprabhu suddenly returned to consciousness and enthusiastically narrated the pastimes of Krishna. Advaita Acharya's sonnet, the poem. When Jagdananda was returning to uh, Jagannath Puri from Bengal, he brought a poem written by Advaita Acharya. This poem described how everyone in Bengal was going mad due to separation from Mahaprabhu. The profound words of the Acharya doubled the Lord's feeling of ecstasy, and he remembered the scene of Lord Krishna's departure from Mathura, which threw the gopis into pangs of separation. In that emotional remembrance, Mahaprabhu rubbed his face against the wall of the Gambhira till he was bleeding. The Ashoka tree. When Mahaprabhu entered the Jagannath Vallabha gardens, he saw Krishna sitting beneath the Ashoka tree. He ran towards him, but Krishna smiled and disappeared. The garden emanated the scent of Krishna's body, and when Mahaprabhu smelled the transcendental aroma, he fell unconscious and wandered like a bumblebee over there. The closing pastimes. So after spending 12 years in this kind of ecstatic reflection, Mahaprabhu finally left the world at the age of 48 in 1534. One day, in the intimate company of Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Das, Mahaprabhu recited a series of prayers and began to expound upon their meaning. These original compositions came to be known as Shikshashtakam, the 8 prayers of instruction. Although Mahaprabhu had defeated great scholars, educated the Goswamis, and philosophically convinced those who were averse to Krishna, he didn't personally author any literature. Instead, he left just these 8 verses and clearly explained it uh, to encapsulate the mood, mission, practices, and philosophy of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. The spiritual significance of these historic stanzas have been described by Bhakti Tirtha Swami. We should recognize this valuable key that can open sacred doors to the spiritual world. As we recite these shlokas daily, we should constantly endeavor to enter more deeply into their meaning and mystery. This Shikshashtakam states the conclusion of Krishna consciousness and offers the culmination of all the Vedas. Therefore, it is the necklace that all Vaishnavas should wear. A necklace that is worn around the neck practically touches the heart. So these 8 verses are essential for us and it should be kept close to our heart. They should not be viewed as optional or as an extracurricular aspect of our spiritual life. Let us now recite uh, this Shikshashtakam as the closing for this particular as the closing of our class. Shri Shri Shikshashtaka by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रीकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधिवितरणं पतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनम् सर्वात्मस्तपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्. Glories to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana, the congregational chanting of Lord's holy name, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditioned life, of repeated births and death. The Sankirtana movement is the prime benediction for humanity at a large because it spreads the rays of benediction of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. नामकारी बहुधानि च सर्वशक्तिस् तत्रार्पित नियमित स्मरणेन काल एतादृश तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशम् इहाजनीनानुरागः. O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In, in these transcendental names, you have invested all your energies. There are not even hard and fast rules to chant these names, but out of kindness, you enable us to approach you so easily. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for these names. Trinadapi sunicena tarorapi sashnuna amanina manatena kirtaniya sada hari. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking himself lower than the straw in the street. He should be more tolerant than one should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and one should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of Lord in constantly. न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामय मम जन्मनि जन्मनेश्वरे भवतात् भक्तिरहेतुकी त्वयि. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth or I have no desire for beautiful women nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. ऐनन्दतनुज किङ्करं पतितां मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजस्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय. O son of Nanda Maharaj Shri Krishna, I am your eternal servant. Yet somehow or other I have fallen in the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. नयनं गदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदरुद्धया गिरा पुलकेरनिचितं वपु कदा तव नाम गृहणे भविष्यति. My Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your name? When will my voice choke up and when will hair stand up at the end at the recitation of your name? युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रविष्टायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे. O Lord, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain. I am feeling everything vacant in this world in your absence. आश्लिष्य वा पदरतं नष्टु माम् अदर्शनं मर्म हतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधतु लम्पटो मतप्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः. I know no one but you, Krishna, and Krishna shall remain so even if you handle me roughly by an embrace or even make me broken-hearted by not being present before me. You are completely free to do anything with me, and you will always be my worshipable God, unconditional. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So with this, I would end today's the last series on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I seek forgiveness at your lotus feet if I have committed any mistakes. Sharad Prabhuji, it is over to you. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Very nicely described the life history of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, it is never ending. We can keep on talking about him, but still we will not be able to finish talking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is very nice. And regarding the Shikshastakam, everything is there in Shikshastakam. The gist of all the teachings there in Shikshastakam. Shikshastakam, and once we had a class on that also long time back. Bhakran Prabhu had taken in 3 sessions, these 8 verses in 3 sessions. And in future, if we have time, then we can do that also. Now the session is open for questions or comments. Yeah, any question or comments? Question may not be there, but comments may be there.
Yeah,
Hare Krishna, Samta Mataji. Sorry, Vinod Prabhu. Radha Vinod Prabhu.
No,
Carry on.
Yes, Radha Vinod Prabhuji.
Okay. Hare Krishna, so nice. As you, Prabhuji, mentioned, it's ever ending, and they are so relishable. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's everything is close to our heart. What I saw that mother gave so nice caption to each and every story. The past time she was narrating and what is the meaning of that. It was so nice. I'm really surprised with the 3 session how she condensed most of the past time. And put so nicely. Mataji, very nice, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Pranam.
Archana Mataji wanted to say something.
Yes, Samta Mataji, very beautiful, very, very nice explanation. Really transported us to Chaitanya Charitamrita, and really enjoyed your presentation. Mataji, one question about Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam. Did you say that it was written by some devotee? Who did you say it was written by, Mataji?
Perhaps, yes, Santamataji.
Prabhuji, I forgot. Prabhuji, you remember Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Moonam? I know the meaning, but I don't know who is written.
Okay, Mataji, thank you. I thought it was.
Mataji, I think it was Rupa Goswami only.
Yes.
No, it is about Rupa Goswami.
Yes, it is about Rupa Goswami.
Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam. So it is about Rupa Goswami. So somebody, I think it must be Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami only who wrote it in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because in the Chaitanya Charitamrita purport, Srila Prabhupada says the devotees say like that. He never mentioned who said. So he says the devotees said this.
Mataji, mostly Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Mataji.
Yeah, I think that's the
Because he
answer.
always कुछ भी लिखने से पहले वो उनका प्रणाम करते रहते हमेशा
रूप रघुनाथ
starting
का
में.
ना हाँ
Yes,
The-
yes. Mataji.
because it was not specifically mentioned, so I missed that point when Mataji was talking, so I thought maybe Mataji said something, so I just wanted to.
No, Mataji, I'll check up, but if I remember correctly, when for the first time Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Ramkeli, then he had uttered this.
No, that is Namo Mahavadanyaya, Prabhu. That is Namo Mahavadanyaya. Namo Mahavadanyaya is that one when they met Mahaprabhu first time.
Yeah.
That is the shloka. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurat Vishe Namaha. So that was the one which they recited first time. This Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam, this is what Lord Chaitanya's Manobhishtam is there, that Rupa Goswami knows. So actually this was recited when, when Rupa Goswami wrote one thing and put it in the thatched roof on top, then because that was what Lord Chaitanya was singing one song during Rath Yatra. It was a mundane song, but then when Rupa Goswami understood what actually Lord Chaitanya wants to say, I am the same Krishna, you are the same Radharani, but I mean, I am the same Radharani, you are the same Krishna, but we are meeting in a different place. I still remember, I wish we would be meeting at Yamuna in Vrindavan. So that was what Rupa Goswami wrote, and he put it in the thatched roof. So when Mahaprabhu came after the Rath Yatra, then he saw this poem written by Rupa Goswami, and then he was so ecstatic and he slapped Rupa Goswami in his with mercifully slapped him and said, "And how did you know my mind?" So then Sarup Damodar said, "Because you only have invested all your mercy upon Rupa Goswami, and that is why he could read your mind." So this pastime, after this pastime only, this is written. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam. That means Rupa Goswami understood the Manobhishtam of Lord Chaitanya. Sthapitam yena bhutale swayam Rupa kada mahyam dadati swapadantikam. So when will such a Rupa Goswami give me the mercy of his lotus feet? So that was written, but no, I don't know if anybody has heard who wrote this.
Mataji, it is written, like I just now checked, it is written that devotees have.
Yeah, exactly. That's what is written in the purport, I remember.
Any special name is not given.
Special name is not given. Yes. Okay, Mataji. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Wonderful session, Mataji. I joined halfway through. Okay, but the session is wonderful. One quick thing, Prabhuji, Srila Prabhuji, am I audible, Prabhu?
Please increase the sound volume.
Okay. Better, Prabhu, no?
Yeah.
Okay. Where we are storing these slides, Prabhu, I want to see the slides. Okay, so that I also have to prepare his slides, right? So I just want to understand what we are preparing and that. Are we storing somewhere, Prabhu, these slides?
Yeah, we have not started, but we will do that.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay.
Any other question or comments?
No, session is
Huh?
very good. Okay. Yeah, it's very well, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, if there are
हरे
no
कृष्णा, हरे
yes,
कृष्णा प्रभु जी, हरे
yes,
कृष्णा समता माता जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम। सो वंडरफुल क्लास माता जी, रियली हम लॉकडाउन के दरमियान पूरा लॉकडाउन में हम लोग ने चैतन्य चरितामृत पढ़ा, हम डेली पढ़ते थे क्योंकि हमारा क्लास था। इतना सब वो वापस याद आ गया कि हम लोग कितना अच्छे से चैतन्य चरितामृत का स्टडी किया है। बहुत अच्छा लगा माता जी। माता जी एक क्वेश्चन ये था कि आपने बोला चैतन्य प्रभु 4 जगह में रहते हैं, सची माता के घर में, नित्यानंद प्रभु जहाँ डांस करते हैं, और श्रीनिवास आंगन में। माता जी 4th वन इज व्हाट माता जी? I missed that point.
Yeah, 1 minute, Mataji.
Yeah.
okay, any other question or comment? Okay, if there are no questions or comments, then I also want to tell a story from Bhakta Maal only. Please remember that regarding the life history of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they are also given in Bhakta Maal. Okay, what story I am going to tell you, that I will tell you in brief only. This is about there was a devotee known as Dhanna Jat, or he is also known as Dhanna Seth. Has anybody heard about him? Dhanna
No,
Seth.
Prabhuji.
No,
No, Prabhuji.
Okay, okay. It is very, very interesting story. Radha Vinod Prabhuji must have heard.
No, Prabhuji, I not heard. No, please
Okay,
go ahead.
okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Then listen to this very, very interesting story. Upfront, I can tell you, he was an incarnation of Bali Maharaj. And the story is something like this. It describes, even though he was totally unpad, he never studied in any school, never had any education. He did farming only, farming in the fields only. Then how he obtained the God, and that too at an age of about 5 to 7 years of age. So that is his greatness. He was actually from Rajasthan. In Rajasthan, there is a district known as Tonk district. In that, there is a village known as Dhumbankala. And in Dhumbankala village, there is a Gurdwara also named after him. It is known as Bhagat Dhanna Gurdwara. And Dhanna, he used to sing the glories of the Lord, and he had composed many verses, even though he was totally illiterate. And many of the verses they are found, they have been mentioned in the Guru Granth Sahib also. That is his greatness. This is about him only. I am going to tell this story. Now, what happened when he was about 5 to 7 years old? At that time, their family priest, or you can say the family the spiritual master, his name was Trilochan Pandit. Trilochan Pandit, he came after a long pilgrimage, and he had his Salagram Sila. Salagram Sila, he had the god from Mukti Narayan. As you know, it is in Nepal. And he used to worship that. Now, when he started worshipping, then offering his food, Dhanna, about 5-year-old boy, he liked it. And he said, I want to have this Salagram Sila, I want to worship. Now his parents, they told him that we are from the Vaishya family. How can you worship like a Brahmana? you will not be able to do. Let the priest, the Trilochan Pandit, he let him do the work. But he said, he insisted that he wants to have that Salagram Chila only because he wanted to worship. Now, what Trilochan Pandit did, next day morning, he went to take his bath in the river and he brought a black rounded stone. And what he did, he kept it in the Singhasan and he applied all the paraphernalia to worship it. And the original Salagram Sila, he kept it down on the cloth spread over the ground. Now, then he asked Dhanna, what do you want? He said, whom do you want to give me? I have got two salagramas, two lords, two Thakurs. One is a Raja Thakur, who is on the Singhasan, and the other is a Sipahi Thakur. He is down below. Now, Dhanna said, I want the Raja Thakur. And Trilochan Pandit, he wanted that only, because even if he does not worship that stone, still then he won't earn any sin. So he told him, you worship him like this, and all that he explained. And very importantly, he told him, don't eat anything without offering to the Lord, without offering to him. And if he accepts, then you accept the food. Otherwise, you don't eat the food. These were the simple instructions to this small little boy. Now, this small little boy, he used to take his cattle in the morning to the forest for grazing, and his mother used to give him bread means bajra roti, saag, good, tenti ki achar, and all that, this type of things, so that in between he can eat, and in the afternoon or late evening, early evening, he can bring back the cattle. Now, on the very first day, his mother gave him 4 rotis and the other things. Then he went to the forest. Now, what happened? He remembered what Trilochan Pandit had told him, you offer to the Lord. He started offering to the Lord, but after some time he saw all the 4 rotis are still there. The Lord didn't come in person, didn't eat it. So he had been told by Trilochan Pandit that if the Lord does not accept, don't eat. He also, he fasted. He gave the rotis to the cattle and he came back home. And the similar thing happened on the second day also, third day also. Now on the 4th day, Dhanna, he tells the Lord that I have not had food for last 4 days. I am very hungry. Why you are not coming and eating? And now the Lord became very, very compassionate, and in person he came, appeared before him, and he started eating the rotis, breads. And now he ate one bread, then he ate the second bread. Then when he was about to touch the third bread, Dhanna got hold of his hand. He said, are you going to eat everything? I am also hungry for last 4 days. Please leave something for me. Then he left. And the balance, Dhanna, he ate. Then this carried on for a number of days. Then after that, the Lord said, I have been eating your food, but I am not doing anything for you. Tell me, so I want to do some service to you. Dhanna said, what can you do? Which job you can do? He said, no, I am very expert in tending the cows. Give me this task. Do one thing, leave the cows here in the morning. No, I'll take the cows in the morning. You come in the afternoon with the food. We'll sit together, eat, and then go. This used to happen. What used to happen? The Lord used to take the cows for grazing, and Dhanna used to work in the fields with his father. And in the afternoon, he used to bring food for the Lord, and they used to sit together and eat. And this was not known to anybody. Now, what happened after many years, when he was about 12, 13 years old, again Trilochan Pandit, he came and he asked Dhanna, what am I seeing you? Oh, he said that then told him the whole story. He said, one day I told the Lord why he is not playing with me, with him. He wanted to embrace him, but Lord would go away from him. Then the Lord told him, now I have taken birth in Kashi and I am there as Ramanandacharya. You go to Kashi and take initiation from me. Then Dhanna, what he did, he went to initiation from Ramanandacharya and came back. And when he met Trilochan Pandit, he told him the same thing. But he didn't give much importance. Then he asked what happened to the Raja Thakur I had given you. He said, Raja Thakur, he had gone to graze my cattle in the forest. He thought, what is he talking? I have been worshipping the Lord for so many years. I have not seen the Lord. I just gave him a stone. And he is saying the Lord has taken the cattle for grazing in the forest. He said, yes, yes. I am now going to the forest taking food for him. He said, okay, then I'll also come with you. Then Trilochan Pandit, he also accompanied Dhanna Seth to the forest. Now, then what happened in the forest, Trilochan Pandit could make out that Dhanna Seth, Dhanna was able to see the Lord, but Trilochan Pandit was not able to see the Lord. Then he was very, very unhappy. But at that time, there was a voice in the sky which told that I am very, very grateful to you because you have brought Dhanna on this path. Do one thing, sit down, keep Dhanna on your lap, and when you touch Dhanna, at that time you will be able to see me. He did that and he was able to see the Supreme Lord. Now, this was there, this story, and then what happened? Dhanna, what he used to do, he used to call the sadhus to their house and feed them. Almost every other day, there used to be a jamaat or a group of sadhus, they used to come there and they used to do kirtan in their house and he used to feed them and he was also very happy and he was enjoying like that because his father was very, very rich. He was not a normal farmer like others. He was very rich farmer. Now, one day his father also, he was totally fed up because his son was doing nothing to earn something and he warned him, this is the last time I have fed the sadhus. Next time I am not going to let them enter my house. You have to earn your living. You have to do something. Then I'll be able to allow it. Otherwise, from today onwards, you are not allowed to get any sadhu to my house. Then the task he gave him the seeds of wheat and he took them in a bullock cart and he started for his the fields to sow the seeds. Now what happened en route, he met some sadhus. Then when he met the sadhus, he offered prostrated obeisances to them. Then the sadhus, they were very, very happy that he must be a great devotee. That's why he is offering obeisances to us. Dhanna asked them, where are you going? They said, we are going to Dumankala village. We want to meet one Dhanna Jat, because we have heard that in a very young age, the Supreme Lord came and met him, and he plays with him, and the Supreme Lord, he eats from his hands. Then Dhanna, he said, I am that Dhanna. Then they were very happy. Then he said, the sadhu said, let us go to your house. Now, Dhanna had been prohibited by his father not to bring the sadhus to their house. That's why he said, no, we'll go and celebrate on the banks of the river. Then they went. What Dhanna did, all the seeds, wheat seeds which his father had given, he took them to the market, buttered them, bought various things for a feast, and cooked them and fed all the sadhus, and thereafter the sadhus went away. And after the sadhus went away, he remembered that his father had sent him to sow the seeds in the field. That he has not done. Then what answer he would give to his father? Now what he did, he filled the bags with sand, river sand, took them to the field, and he started showing the sand only, just to show others who were nearby in the nearby fields that he is sowing the seeds. Now he did this. After this, he came back, and when his father asked, he said, yes, I have sown the seeds. And next day morning, what happened? The elderly persons in the village, they all came to Dhanna's house and told his father, in front of his father, they asked Dhanna, we know that you had gone to Kashi. Have you learned some trick? He said, what happened? Because he said, yesterday evening, you showed the seeds in your field, but in the morning only, these wheat plants, they have come up, they are about 1 foot tall, and they are looking so healthy. There are no weeds, no grass, nothing inside them, and we have never seen such a thing in our lifetime. How it is? Now Dhanna thought they were joking only, they were making mockery out of him, because he had not sown the seeds but sand only. Now he said, his father said, let us go to the field. Now when all of them they came to the field, they saw it was wheat plants only. Then he asked his son, what have you done? Then he told him the whole story. He said, I have not sown this in the field, but I have sown this in the mouth of the sadhus, and that's why it must have happened like that. Now, this is the story. Story happened like this. Then his father also started taking the name of the Lord as Dhanna was taking. Then what happened? Once the Lord wanted to test Dhanna, there was a drought in Rajasthan, and gradually everybody, nobody had any food in their house. But Dhanna said in their house they had enough grains. And Dhanna, what he did, he started distributing to everybody, because every day people would come and tell them, we want to have food, and there is drought, and our cattle, they don't have anything to eat. That means for the cattle and for the normal people, he used to give a lot of grains and other things. Now, this kept on happening, and one day everything in their house also finished. There was nothing to eat. And now, at that time, the Lord, he took the form of a Brahmana, and he came to Dhanna Seth and he told him, I have not seen a more stupid person than you. And you know there is a drought, and you have sold, you have given out everything to all these sadhus, including the seeds. Now, because of your sadhu seva, it is going to rain, and people have hidden the seeds in their houses, they will sow in their fields. What are you going to do? He said, what can I do? The Supreme Lord, He is the protector. If He protects us, we will be there, otherwise we will not be there. But I am very sure He is going to protect us. So this Brahmana, he did what he did. He said, you don't have any seeds to grow. Then what he did, he gave him some seeds of what is known in Rajasthan, that is tumma. Tumma means they are plants in which big fruits they come up, and they are very very bitter. They cannot be eaten, but that fruit that is used as kamandal, and that is the for carrying water of the sadhus that you would have seen. I have seen in my the younger days. The sadhus used to carry. Nowadays they carry plastic bottles and all that. Now he told him how to do that, and how to harvest that fruit also. And he told him, okay, harvest the fruit once it is ripe. And he told him the procedure, and he said, don't tell this to anybody else. Keep it a secret, and whatever you get from inside that fruit, you use them for sadhu seva, go seva, like this, and everything will be all right. Then it so happened that on the very next day only, his complete field was filled with all these plants he had sown the previous day. And after some time, the fruits also came up, and he noticed one fruit became ripe one day, and he took it as he had been told by that Brahmana. And to his surprise, when he opened that, he found not only gold, but gold, diamond, and many other precious metals in this. Then he thought, this must be the act of some Maya Devi, and I am going to be affected. Let me get out of it. But there was the voice in the sky told that I had come in the form of a Brahmana and met you. I had told you, please use this resource, use this wealth for the service of the Brahmanas and the cows, and don't worry, things will be all right. Then what he did, the all the other people, they had sown their in their fields wheat and other grains, but it takes some time for them to harvest. Now, till that time, what Dhanna did, he called thousands and lakhs of people to his house and fed everybody of them, and they became very, very happy. And this is what is the story of Dhanna said. That means even by one's own faith on the Supreme Lord, and by doing one's devotional service very, very sincerely, one will be able to see the Lord, and there is no doubt about it. It is not that one has to be very much educated, he has to have all the knowledge, then the Lord will come and meet him. It is not that. Even he meets the illiterate people also. But if one's heart is pure, if one is looking for the Lord sincerely in his heart, and there is a eagerness, then the Lord will certainly come. So this is what is the story of Dhanna Jat. It is given in the Bhakta Maal. And it is a much longer story also. I have just shortened it because of shortage of time. Hare Krishna. Any question about this?
Hare Krishna, wonderful Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
So-
in which khand is this? Pratham
Pardon?
in Bhaktamal series, in which khand is this?
It is the second part.
Okay, thank you.
Second part toward the end.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So wonderful story.
Okay,
Devotion is so wonderful. Dhanna's devotion is so wonderful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. This is inspirational.
There are so
Thank
many
you, Prabhu.
stories. You should read them because it is a much longer story how he came to protect his fields and all that. All these things are there. I did not include them because of lack of time.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful story.
Thank you. You must have enjoyed.
Prabhuji, soft heart is needed. Pure and
Huh?
soft heart. Soft heart and pure heart is needed for this type of devotion, right, Prabhuji?
Yes. That is very very necessary. What is known as the faith. We should have faith, and what is known in Hindi saral vishwas. If because of our knowledge we are little critical. How can the Lord come in the form of a stone, only normal stone? It was not a salagram sila, it was like any ordinary stone. But if somebody believes that that is Lord, then the Lord will come out of that. Like what Prahlad Maharaj, he believed that Lord is everywhere. He was in that the stone pillar also, and that's how Nrsingadev came out from that. It is like that. We do not have firm faith on the Lord. That's why we do not see Him. We do not realize Him. So we should have firm faith and simple faith. We should not question with all the knowledge we have gained throughout our life. So that is the thing. I hope you have liked the story, and we'll be hearing many such stories in future. So in
So
case,
wonderful, Prabhuji. We are so happy.
thank you.
Prabhuji. Thank you.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My relative today has joined for the first time. She's my aunt. She's Reshma Melani. She's in the class for the first time. Prabhuji, I welcome her and introduce her to her.
Mataji, you are most welcome to attend our classes, and we are trying to share our knowledge with each other. And I am very sure you will like our classes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
And if there are no questions, then we can conclude today's class with the Nrsinga prayers, please. Any volunteer for the Nrsinga prayers?
May I do, Prabhuji?
Yes.
श्री नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। नमस्ते नरसिंहाय, नमस्ते नरसिंहाय, प्रहलादलाददायिने, प्रहलादलाददायिने, हिरण्यकाशीपूर्वक्षः, हिरण्यकाशीपूर्वक्षः, शीलटङ्कानकालाय, शीलटङ्कानकालाय, इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह, इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह, यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह, यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह, बाह्ये नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह, बाह्ये नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह, नरसिंहमतिं शरणं प्रपद्ये, नरसिंहमतिं शरणं प्रपद्ये, तव करकमलवरे नखम् अद्भुतशृङ्गम् ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गम् केशवदीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमलवरे नखम् अद्भुत शृङ्गं दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गं केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद हरे कृष्ण थैंक यू प्रभु जी धन्यवाद प्रणाम
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lalitpriya Mataji, for your comments. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you very much, and we meet
Thank
next
you.
week. Actually, next week, day 1, I will not be there because I will be traveling at that time. I will try to attend on the second day from Bangalore. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
धन्यवाद
Dandavat
Thank you
pranam.
very
Dandavat
much.
pranam
Very
to all
nice. I
devotees.
enjoyed.
Thank you so much.
Krishna
Pranam, Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
thank you very much. Wonderful.
Hare Krishna to all devotees.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful class.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
See you next week here.
Thank you. Thank you.